Many people don't realize that Vietnam War was not confronted from North and South Vietnam. It was split into neighboring Cambodia, Laos, and even nearby Thailand. During the war, the United States Air Force was based in series strike aircrafts in friendly Thailand, using to bomb the targets in North Vietnam. Thailand was supposed to be safer than South Vietnam, with the government and the people armed forces disposing the United States Air Force among their aircraft based in Thailand was one of the most iconic weapons in the Vietnam War, the Boeing B-20 B-52. This was the strategic bomber first entered in service in 1952. It was capable of carrying 70,000 or 32,000 kilograms of ordnance to combat a range of refueling of 8,000 miles, and it flew over 1,400 kilometers. This incredible aircraft is still active service today in 2021. The project has been served at least until 2040. The B-52 first entered Vietnam in 1965, an Operation Air Delight that flew series of carpet bombing missions. Large formations of B-52s flew directly in the arsenal of the Guam Redofi of the refueling and the ties of now the airfield in Thailand. The spring of 1967. The greatly simplified mission.
Taking off from bases in Thailand, on Guam, and Okinawa, SAC's B-52s head for targets in Vietnam to dump their huge bomb loads. During these strikes, they concentrate on areas indicating the most intense enemy pressure, sorties known as arc light. When bomb release point is reached, each stratofortress drops some 30 tons of explosives on targets more than 30,000 feet below. The targets show countless scars. The terrain following a B-52 assault has been described as looking as if it had been swept by a giant rake.
The North Vietnam determined show how neutral threat posed by the B-52s and other American aircraft. Several would fall in the defense and the fighters and the anti-aircraft missile plans, but the hatchet to fight one day and the source to destroy the B-52s and the American aircraft on ground, the source of which Thailand grudged to heavily defend U.S. bases in South Vietnam. This would require commando raids to launch into Thailand to blow up B-52s and any U.S. aircraft that could be attacked. By December 1967, 500 U.S. Air Force planes of various types were stationed in 7 Royal Thai Air Force bases. The U.S. and Thai forces would protect those bases throughout the B-50s, and the primary targets of attacking may be the U.S. type on the bases. The first attack occurred on 26th of July 1968 on the Arndor Base 6. The U.S. and Thai security forces have caught off guard, and the C-1 transport plane that was a moment's standby had an evacuating mission when the North Vietnamese committed 10 and 25 p.m. forces to the north and south. 4 teams launched the assault from the base from northwest corner, and these teams now opened fire with automatic weapons distracted to base. Now further with the Vietnamese combat engineer, stealthy infiltrating the base was carrying charges. They immediately focused their attention on the C-140, underguarded on the load ramp that killed one of the commandos on the tails gunner. Now, the tail gunner is now down, and they sprayed their C-42 AK-47. The fire caused a fuel leak in one of the engines. Then, he lobbed explosive charges under the aircraft, and another nearby, the mobile power center. The unit in charge has been exploded, causing a fuel leak and the plane to catch on fire. The commandos ran away from the runway, aiming for a F-4D jets that was unguarded and refueling, or should I say F-4D Phantom, that shoved the tailpipe of the F-4. This charge failed to go off, which was unfortunate for the Vietnamese. The commandos then made the good escape of the fuel blazing of the C-140, put out of base and out of fire. The HHD-43 helicopter assisting was hit by AK-47 rounds and damaged. The base of secure forces engaged in the attackers. The North Vietnamese commandos melted away into the jungle. Just 1 year later, the Vietnamese commando strikes again, this time in the Camaro base of 1 a.m. On July 1969, these three were in exchange of gunfire, and the policemen of his dogs were wounded. Commandos had successfully put around 10 explosive charge on the vehicles. That charge detonated, damaging 2 C-40 transport planes and a van-based security later. 5 more charges have failed to work. Now, airborne and the maintain of 1970, this time the security have managed to defeat the Vietnamese commandos. This is the B52 Dambusters, the Vietnamese commando raids.